Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought it'd be fun if I did a video about a Mod Podging squishy. Before we do that, the squishy of the day is this. It's just very, very squishy. It would be one of the squishies I Mod Podged, but I don't want to reveal it just yet. But it is super squishy, super surprising, and overall amazing. It is the reproduced football crush ball. I did get this from the Dollar Tree. It did not come in this packaging. I repackaged it. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about Mod Podging squishies. Mod Podging squishies is either something really bad or something really good. I recommend not doing it if you only have a little bit of squishies. I technically, from those higher collections, I actually don't have that many squishies. I've got about 20. So, yeah. So, I wouldn't do it if you have as much as me or fewer. You're probably thinking, then why'd you do it? Because I only recommend doing it if a squishy is like beyond affected and you don't really like that squishy and you just want to experiment, I'll say. So, yeah, that's only time I really would recommend doing it. So, I did it twice because I had two super defected squishies. One is drying. So, I don't use the Mod Podge, the one that you're probably thinking of. I use like an off-brand Mod Podge, which actually works just as well. I gotta close it a little more. It's a little dirty, but it is called Triple Thick. I've actually got quite a lot left. So, it's not sponsored, I promise. But it is really nice. I'm pretty sure it's cheaper and you can find it easier. It's from Deco Art Triple Thick. Brush on gloss glaze. It's basically just Mod Podge, but with a different name, I would say. Okay, so I did it to one of my donut squishies and one of my unicorn squishies. So this one, which is dry, which if you look, this one was my first ever one, so it's a little bad on the bottom, but the top I like. There's that huge defect. Okay, so you can kind of see that crack going all the way around there. Basically what that is it was ripped in half, and then there was other humongous defects, like there was one, like everywhere really. So completely, like unless you ripped it, you don't unless you're also looking for it, you don't really even see it. So you can kind of see defects and paint chipping there. But overall, it's really nice. So it's kind of drying. Pretty sure it's done. So all I did is I did a whole bunch of coats, and then I realized it wasn't really it was started sticking to where I was leaving it, and then you just left this nice bottom because I was setting it on the bottom. And I was like, how can I fix this? So what I did was, I recommend doing this, is if you want to do your whole squishy, you do one, oh, by the way, I'll teach you in a second, but if you do one on the top, and then you just keep it like this, and then once that's dry, you do it on the bottom, and you just keep it like this, so it does not stick. Otherwise, it will leave like this, because it's just chipping, and it makes it white. So I really like the top part. Oh, and I'll teach you, this is going to be a triple video. So here's this one, which is my favorite Mod Podge, only because I did the whole squishy. In Mod Podge, I consider it kind of like glue, like clear glue, kind of, in my opinion. Here are some of the rules for Mod Podge in squishies. So, here we go. So, if you had a squishy that's Mod Podge, you cannot squish it like this. You absolutely cannot squish it like that. Because if you cut a squishy, let's see, any squishy that's a lot losing a part. Is it on my bed? Yeah, it's on my bed. I don't know if you can see anything, but in the foam, there's little bubbles full of air. That's when you squish it. Some squishies are not really this one, but others are airy. I'm pretty sure this one is airy. So, yeah. And it's like caught up with air, but it can just come out because it's foam. It's got tiny, tiny little bubbles in it, like if you ever saw a sponge. But when you, when you Mod Podge a squishy, it's basically putting a squishy in a Ziploc bag. So, for example, what one would be a good example? I'll do this one for example. So let's say Mod Podge is like this Ziploc bag, and it's sealed completely, like completely. Oh, is there a hole in this? Okay, there's a hole in this. But imagine there was not a hole. You cannot squish it because it's full of air, like completely. So it's not allowing you to squish it because it's full of air. This I can squish. Where's my baby go? This is full of a lot of air, but there's a little hole in it. So you see that air? So basically, it fills up and you can't squish it unless there's a hole in it. And that's like this Mod Podge. It's the Ziploc bag. So if you squish it super, super hard, like, oh my god, see? That is, it's gonna pop and get defected. So you have to squish it lightly. So I squish it maybe a little harder than you should. Like I squish it like that. You shouldn't really like, you know, even though you get tempted to. And the ups or positives of Mod Podging your squishy is if you do it right, it's more slow rising and airy, but you can't really hear the air because I'm not squishing it really hard. Sticky, it helps the defects. If you do it wrong, or the downsides of Mod Podging are, if you do it wrong, it can look like this, like the whole thing. It can peel, it can make your squishies super defected, and you never want to squish them. So, it's at your own risk, really. So that's one of the ones I just did, but like you said, like I told you, it's not the only one I did. This one's still drying, but this one, as you saw some of my videos, the head is coming off, so I'm trying to glue that back on. The nozzle is done on the nose. But I'm just basically doing the head and where that is. Can kind of peel it, but I don't really want to do that right now. Still drying, as I recently put a coat on. Stick. I need to do it like that again, because that's what helps. I really like squishing the nose. And you can't really tell for this one, except it's cracking a little bit. But I just want the head to stick on. So I'm not going to squish that one too much, because that one's still drying. And I promised you, and I would show you how to Mod Podge a squishy. So for this, I'm going to do the bottom of this. Here we go. No, I'm going to keep it right here. So I'm going to take my Mod Podge. All you need is a Mod Podge in your squishy, actually. Or a paintbrush, but I don't really use it. So unscrew the lid. And if you want, you can pour some in there. But I just take my finger, and make sure your hair is out of your way. And you dip it on there. And you just rub it all around until it's an even coat. So I'm just gonna rub it all around the bottom. Don't do the top yet, because like I told you that strategy before. There you go. And you're going to set it and leave it to dry. There will be a Mod Podge 2 where I will show you the finished product of that, but it's basically, that one's going to be the same because I've already Mod Podged it. It's just making it thicker, so it might be thicker and all, but... And then I recommend washing your hands because literally I forgot to wash my hands one time, and then for the whole day, my hands were like sticking to each other, and I got it on my nail, so it just did not feel the best. So at my sink right now, I'm gonna wash my hands. Dang it, my bracelet. I hate when this happens, you know. As soon as you do that, you're gonna go to a towel. I just have this one on my door. I'm gonna do it, and then the parts you feel the Mod Podge, like I feel it on these two fingers. Then we're gonna just start like ripping it off really on your hand. And it's kind of gonna look like dead skin, but you'll just like rub your hand and then drop it off and continue to wash your hands. So this, I guess, is where I'm going to do the outro. Thank you so much for watching. This is at your own risk. I'm not telling you to go Mod Podge your squishies, but it's probably for the ones that's got over 100 squishies and for the ones that's got super defected squishies. And so it's at your own risk. If you want to do it, try it. So yeah, I'm going to be doing a part 2, and I'll show you the donut squishy and the finished product of the unicorn. So if you watch that, it's probably going to be tomorrow because that's when they'll be dry. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.